Hey, I'm James, also known as Slim Jim. This is the start of what I'm presuming will be a pretty sporadic series of videos detailing different features on my long-term project campervan, Bongo Fury. Lots of things make it special to me, from the Project Zoo body kit through the custom cab interior I designed, painted and fitted myself, to the fact that I take it drag racing as part of the T17 club I run. I've done lots to it, and I have lists of things that I want to do. It just gets longer and longer. You have to write it down somewhere. I never planned to make videos about the van, so I mostly used photos to capture the work as I went. I'll try my best to not simply make these videos a boring slideshow, but you're just going to get what I've got. It's kind of tricky to choose where to start, but recently the thing I get asked about the most is on the front of the van, which is the headlights. And then I can work from the front to the back. But if I do any more of these, we'll see. I run a custom setup based on the lights that go with the Project Zoo body kit that I run on the van. I have to run the full Project Zoo body kit on the van because the wheels that I love that I put on the van didn't quite fit. So I had to cut the arches out. It's a whole domino effect. It goes on and on. That'll have to be another video, I think, if anyone's interested. Again, back to seeing in the dark. The standard lights on the T4 are truly awful. 80s light technology wasn't great, and I'm pretty sure the T4 setup was based on something even older or agricultural or something. Plus the low amp supply makes them even worse. Next to top modern lighting, they're borderline dangerous. You can't see where you're going. And you can't fix that by putting more powerful LEDs in, because the directional lenses mean that not only do they make the light bounce all around inside the light and fail to light the road in front of you, but then you also blind oncoming drivers, which you don't want to do. When I decided to go for the full Project Zoo kit, I was lucky enough to find a full setup, including the lights, on ebay.de, German eBay. And the twin holes apertures look so much better than stock. The only minor issue is that the kit wasn't in great shape. It was green, like greeny blue. Plus it was a left-hand drive kit from Germany, so there was a decent amount of modification that had to happen, not just to the lights but also to the rest of the kit. After a lot of prep, sanding and paint work by the legend that is Dean the Paint Doctor, the body kit fit perfectly and looked spot on. Then the bad news, once they were running, again, due to them being from the 80s, the Project Zoo lights were only a tiny bit better than the awful stock setup for lighting the road. So something had to be done, and something quite radical. When I bought the kit back in 2015, there really wasn't much call for them. Even the lights were going pretty cheap. Since then, the prices of them they've gone crazy, properly skyrocketed. So it was admittedly a bit of a daft thing to do, cutting them up. But the parts I was cutting, the frames, they were not the best shape. When I bought them, they had originally been sandblasted and powder coated, and you can see how much it dissolved over the years. First upgrade attempt was on a bit of a time crunch, because I've been asked to put the van in the Camper Mart show, and I only had a few weeks to get them ready, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I made a lot of mistakes. For the main lights, I went with a set of fully enclosed LEDs, which have got a flat beam. They don't kick up to the right or left. They're mostly used for Locust kit cars and motorbikes. They're a bit tricky to mount, because they sit in like a cowl on the cars. I had to drill holes in the cooling fins at the back. It was a little bit crazy, but it worked. For the second lenses, I picked some projectors, which were way too big in length and were a real pain to fit. Another mistake, I used sheet metal for the mounts and then forgot to paint them, so they turned into a rusty mess after a day or so. I hadn't even washed it once and they were awful. I also didn't really attempt to wire them up properly. I just hacked them until they worked. I was pretending I was on some sort of SEMA time crunch, like all the real automotive build YouTube bods talk about, for this show that I was going to. Anyway, on the surface, they look great for the show, properly spot on, but underneath, I was far from happy. So after the show, I went back to the drawing board and tried to work out how I could make them better. One of the first things I did was I moved from steel to stainless steel, knowing I'd probably forget to paint them again. I also took out the huge and underwhelming projector unit for some properly cheap, crazy bright LEDs that I think are meant for a Jeep Wrangler. They're only used for high beam, so there's no real restrictions on the beam pattern, so I just went for the most powerful ones I could find with the brightest light, and it just so happened they'd got indicators in as well. I changed the setup to make them more adjustable with sliding fittings, so I could be happier with the direction of the main beam, up and down, left, right, although there's no kick so it doesn't matter, as well as the fitment of the units within the Project Zoo cowling, so it looked good as well as directed well. I didn't get around to putting the electronic adjusters back in, but I can guess I'm going to do a third iteration, so maybe I'll try and put them in for that. I also spent a little bit more time on the connectors, so they're waterproof and backwardly compatible with the stock headlights, just in case I need to put the old ones back in for any reason, if these crack or die, or you never know what can happen. I'm very, very happy with the setup now. They're just as good as any modern car's headlights. They light up the road, but they don't blind oncoming traffic. They look phenomenal. They're so good, but I'm very happy with them. So that's my breakdown of my customized Project Zoo headlight setup. Hopefully I answered some of the questions on them. I'll put a few links in the description to some of the hardware that I've used. I'm not sure what the subject will be next. If I do work front to back, I guess the video should be about my new engine setup. We're hoping for over 250 brake on a stock 2.5 TDI from a T4, so I can take part in the T17 Drag Racing Club. If you've got any questions, any comments, or suggestions on what you'd like to hear about next on the van, leave them in the comments, and I hope to see you next time. Cheers.